so we're going to do number 5, which is another example of moles to grams. And the question for number 5 says, a student uses 4.50 moles of silver nitrate. How many grams of copper nitrate will be made? So we're looking for grams of copper nitrate in our answer. Now that's a compound. Do you see grams in the question? Yes. That means we have to grab the periodic table and we will be using it. Now, I admit, I like to calculate the molar masses before I start the calculations. So when it comes time, I've got it ready. Do you see how it says grams of copper nitrate? That's the only one I have to calculate. Because grams of copper nitrate is the only one it says grams on. That's how I know. So real quick, I'm going to calculate grams of copper nitrate. Now look at the equation. First, second, third, fourth. Which formula looks like copper nitrate?
I think the last one, the fourth one.
Yeah, the fourth one. You see how it says copper and it's got some nitrogen in there? Whereas this one's just plain old copper, isn't it? So we're going to calculate the mass of copper nitrate exactly the way the formula says. Okay? So, we've got copper in our formula. We have nitrogen in our formula. We have oxygen in our formula, correct? All right, so let's look up copper. Here's copper. It says 63.546. How many copper are in that formula?
2.
Now look again.
1.
1, yes. Why is it not 2?
Because he's not in the parentheses.
Very good. The copper is not in parentheses, but this is how we learn. Okay? All right, so we do have just 1. Okay, nitrogen. How many total nitrogen are in this compound?
2.
Yes. 1 inside the parentheses, if you'd like, times the 2 on the outside. And then we look up nitrogen, and we use the atomic mass for its molar mass by itself. So times 14.007. That's the mass of nitrogen. Okay, then when you look at the formula, how many oxygen are in this formula? 6, yes. 3 on the inside, multiply by the 2 on the outside, that gives you 6. You can just write 6. And then everybody probably has memorized the mass of oxygen. We use it a lot. 15.999. It's one of the most common elements of our atmosphere. No wonder it's in so many compounds that we use and talk about. Impact our lives. Okay, now I can calculate that up, add it all up, what it says. We're going to add it. So, we've got 63.546, okay, plus 2 times 14.007, plus, okay, that was a 6, times 15.999 equals, and we get 187.554, that's grams per mole of our copper nitrate. Okay, excellent. We see how to get molar mass of a compound that has parentheses. Okay, if you can do that one, you can do any of them. All right, now we'll start the question. This is how I like to do it, because everything's ready now. Okay, again, I'm going to read the question again, make sure I'm focused. We have 4.50 moles of silver nitrate at the beginning. And notice this compound here is our silver nitrate. So, 4.50 moles silver nitrate, and I'm stacking my information so that I have enough room to write it all. I admit it. I'm stacking it just a little bit. Okay, over 1. Okay, and you can use your foldable, or you can remember how units cancel. You can use the pattern on the notes. We need to cancel moles of silver nitrate, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
We do not want moles of silver nitrate to be in our answer. So I'm going to cancel moles of silver nitrate by copying it to the bottom like we always do. Okay, moles of silver nitrate. Okay, you must write everything I'm writing. If you miss any of it, you will not get credit for it. I do partial credit, but Schoology with multiple choice doesn't let us. So, okay, on the top, okay, remember this is the mole ratio. Moles is in the bottom for the first time. Or you can see on the pattern in the foldable that mole ratio is what we're doing right now. We have moles again on bottom. So now we'll do moles of the unknown on top. And the unknown is, remember, it's copper nitrate. Actually, it's copper 2 nitrate, if you want me to say the name correctly. Because it takes 2 nitrates to go with the copper. That is copper 2 nitrate, really. Positive 2 charge on the copper. Okay, now I'm going to continue. Remember, we do not want moles of copper nitrate in our answer, so that means we have to copy it to the bottom. So, moles of copper 2 nitrate onto the bottom. Right, what are we converting to now? We're converting to the grams, right? We're converting from moles of unknown to grams. And then we can calculate. So I need the mass. Remember, we found the mass already. I had you look at, figure it out with me. So grams of our copper nitrate, copper 2 nitrate to be specific. We do not want copper 1 nitrate. And the mass we found was 187.554. I'm going to go ahead and write it down because we're ready to write numbers down anyway. Okay. Now, before I go any further, do you see how either the pattern on the notes or the foldable show you which units to put where to begin with? You know where the units come from. I hope you can see them cancel out so that the answer will have the grams of copper 2 nitrate in the answer. I hope you can see that the answer's units will not cancel even though everything else did. Okay, now we can put in the other numbers. Okay, I already used the molar mass for the unknown that we just found. I already used that with us. Okay, if I come back here, notice mole ratio uses coefficients. So what is the coefficient on copper 2 nitrate? What's the coefficient? 1. Yes, there's no number, and that means 1. Please write the 1 in the work. Okay. Moles of silver nitrate. How many moles? What's the coefficient? Silver nitrate.
2.
2. The coefficient is 2. Okay? That's why I'm putting the 2.
Oh.
All right. Oh, I've got 1 space left to fill. There's no number here yet. Now this is mole. It's not in the mole ratio, and it's not in the given. So what number do we put? A 1. And actually the foldable will tell you. The pattern in the notes says it, and you kind of know the little rule I taught you. If mole is not in the given, and it's not in the mole ratio, just put a 1. It always works. Okay, now we're ready to calculate. Okay? So, again, I'm going to write on paper what we do to calculate so that you can look at it later and know exactly what to do even though I'm not at home with you studying. So we're going to do the top. What do we do on the top with everything?
Multiply.
Multiply. Okay, you can multiply by 1 if you want. We definitely have to multiply by 187.554. Okay, so that's all of the top. Okay, on the bottom, remember we always divide. And I never divide by the 1 even though it's there. Okay, divide by 2, just like our setup work told us to. And then here, we could divide by 1 if we want, but I always skip that too. And now we can hit the equal sign. All right? All right, let's do it. So, we have 4.50 times 187.554 divide by 2 equals. And the answer is kind of big, but that's okay. Notice we only need to keep 3 digits. So even though the calculator gives me a lot of stuff like this, I really only need 3 digits. Oh, look at this one. The third one, this doesn't happen very often. The 5 is after a 9. What do you do when the 9 is followed by a 5 and you have to round up?
Make it 10.
The 9 turns into 10.
Mm-hmm.
So we do 610. And if I was teaching you proper significant figures, I'd tell you put a decimal point after it, and that will keep 3 significant figures. With the decimal point, the 0 is significant. It's like it's 0 and no more in that position. Okay, now we need the unit for our answer. Remember, the green did not cancel out, so the answer's units are grams of the copper 2 nitrate. Okay, grams of copper 2 nitrate. And that's our final answer right there for number 5 in our notes. Any questions? Did this help you see how the foldable works?